Welcome to Here Comes the Boom. I'd like to welcome on to the show Santa Clara men's basketball head coach Herb Sendek. Sendek's Santa Clara Broncos will face Kentucky in the first round of the NCAA tournament in St. Louis on Friday. Coach, thanks for coming on.
My pleasure.
So I want to start by asking about what your reaction was to this bracket reveal, getting to face a team that you were an assistant at for 4 years in Kentucky.
Well, first off, we were really excited to see our name go up on CBS on Selection Sunday. It's one of the great moments in sports in our country, and anytime you could see your school appear in a bracket, it's a moment filled with a great deal of joy.
And I want to start by letting you talk a little bit about your team and just ask, what are your team's greatest strengths?
Yeah, I think we have really good people on our squad. You know, we have a tremendous character quotient. Guys organically have become very close. They're good friends as well as teammates. So as a result, I think they have had tremendous attitudes throughout the season and really worked at their craft. And as a result, gotten better as we've progressed through the season.
Obviously, your team is known a lot for its pressing defense. You're someone that coached under former Kentucky coach Rick Pitino. How much of your defensive philosophy did you learn from coaching under Coach Pitino, and how would you say your defensive philosophy has evolved
Sorry about
over
that.
time?
Springtime is in the air here.
You're all good. I was just asking about how much of your defensive philosophy did you learn from Coach Pitino, and how has your philosophy changed and evolved over the years?
Well, I mean, I'd like to think I learned a great deal from Coach Pitino. I still stand in awe of him as a coach and what he's able to accomplish. But the game has evolved a lot since I was together with him at Providence and Kentucky. You know, offenses play much different than they played when we were together, which is one of the exciting things about sports, right? There's brilliant people around the world who keep coming up with innovative ways to play. And then we're all copycats. Everybody then steals, borrows from each other. And so the game evolves and changes. The rules accompany those changing strategies sometimes. And so I think I learned a lot from Coach. How could you not, being in his presence every day if you're paying attention? But at the same time, the game has evolved and continues to do so.
And then talking about your team, I know you got a guy, Alan Graves, who's already drawn some NBA draft buzz as a freshman. He's won some big-time awards in the WCC this year. What have you seen out of him this season?
Yeah, Alan just gives great effort. The consummate teammate, and has continued to improve throughout the season, and obviously having a tremendous year for us.
And then I'm sure with this game Friday, you're getting ready to start scouting Kentucky's roster. What are your thoughts on the team that Mark Pope has assembled this year?
Well, as always, the Wildcats are talent rich. I don't think that's a secret. They have great length, great size, a lot of versatility on their team. They really have an outstanding assembly of players, and Coach Pope does a great job. Had a chance to coach against him, obviously, when he was in our league here at BYU.
And I want to ask about another player on your team, Elijah Mahi. He's another player that's getting a lot of buzz, a really great player out there. What have you seen out of him this season?
Yeah, Elijah, I think, has continued to get better. He joined us last year, and if you look back over the course of time, he's really improved. I think he's a lot more comfortable. He's elevated his level of play, and obviously is an integral part of our team and what we do.
And I want to go back a little bit because Mark Pope said just last night that you were the first coach to reach out to him when Kentucky started recruiting him as a player. What do you remember about that? What do you remember about recruiting Mark?
We started recruiting Coach Pope when he was in high school. And obviously we didn't get him. He decided to stay home and went to the University of Washington. I then left to go to Miami of Ohio. And when he transferred, he landed at Kentucky. But I never got to coach him or recruit him the second time around. It was just when he was in high school.
And what was your most memorable recruiting experience at Kentucky?
Oh, wow. I wasn't ready for that one. We had plenty, believe me. We had plenty. But it was awesome to represent Big Blue, across the country. So much history and pride, and it's just an amazing place when it comes to college basketball.
And then when it comes to this game on Friday, we talked about your team, we talked about Kentucky. Just what do you see as the keys to come away with a victory on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to play a great game. We're going to have to, be solid in every facet of the game to be competitive and to, have a chance against Kentucky. They're really, really good, and so we're going to focus on our preparation and come in and play the best we can.
And then lastly, I just want to ask you what you want to let fans know about your Santa Clara team. What can fans expect on Friday?
Yeah, well, I know Big Blue will probably have quite the crowd there in St. Louis, and just take it easy on us a little bit. Don't cheer too loud against the Broncos.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining me today. Best of luck this week.
All right, Jacob, have a great day.
You too.